Yeah, that's where it all started.
If you're just joining us, we're talking with mother-daughter authors from the Twin Cities area, Julie and Amanda Sexson. Well, we've been talking about making an actual trip to, in this case, for your family, Haiti, which has been and still is a target for your philanthropy and for your giving. Would you recommend, Amanda, for other people, really of any age, who have a cause, maybe they learned about it through their church or on the internet and they're making some donations, would you recommend that they find a way, as you have done, to get themselves to that location and have a direct experience as you've been able to?
Yes, because for me, it's so much different when you can see exactly how you're helping or where your money is going. It's like the follow-up. You know, you raise the money, you donate it, and then you follow it there and you see, okay, this is what I'm helping. And it is just so life-changing. I mean, it'll change you forever once you see it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were talking about, your book goes over that you have created this production, this factory really, at home and then in your church basement, which is to produce special peppermint bark and have that as a fundraiser. What did you do in the year 2010? Because now you had, I think, a little more of a, like in sailing when people really feel like they've got that wind in their sails. I'm thinking you kind of had wind in your sails from year 2009. Tell us about what the planning was and what you did in December 2010.
Well, our starting goal was to make 480 tins of peppermint bark.
480 tins,
Yep.
right? And then how much do you sell them for?
$12.
$12, all right.
Yes, so we had 2 dates where we had about 50 volunteers. And they came to our church and we just baked and baked and baked like 91 batches. And we got it all done that weekend. And so it was really easy. We got it all done in one big
swoop.
One big chunk.
It's amazing how that happens when you have so much help.
So much help. And I bet I'm thinking the joy, sometimes we go out as teams from my work and we do a volunteer activity together and you get so much energy from the other people that are in the room and you're doing something that's so above and beyond.
It was a blast. It really was fun.
Yeah.
So do you use candy canes? Is that part of the...
The candy is the circular...
yeah.
The little round...
Those star mints or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we're talking about your book and the recipe. How can people that are watching this interview right now, how can they find your book and purchase it?
They can go to Beavers Pond Press website, so www.beaverspondbooks.com. And all of the profits from the book are going to Healing Haiti.
Oh, wonderful. And the book is I Can Make a Difference, a sweet story of giving. All right, so you create this really big effect, right? And now I want to ask your mom, Julie, how did this come together where you thought, I could put this into a book, really share Amanda's story. Tell us about that idea and the process, because a lot of people think that they would like to write a book, but you did it.
Right. I mean, everybody has a story to tell, really. Really, the idea came to me when I was delivering bark for Amanda, because I work for her now, as I tell everybody. I'm her first employee. So she had written down on a piece of paper where I was to go, this woman named Mary Ann, and her phone number and address. And so she loaded me up with the tins, and while she was at school, off I went to deliver this peppermint bark. So I got to Mary Ann's house, and we just delivered the bark. And this is the wonderful part about doing something like this, is you never know who you're going to meet, along the way. So I went into Mary Ann's home, and we just got to chatting and kind of hit it off, and kept asking her, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And she turns out she's a children's book author and illustrator. So I said, well, what have you written? So she went and got her book, which is called Hooray for Me. And she's a very well-known author in the area and has written, I think, dozens of books. And I was like, I have that book.
Yeah, I've heard
and
of
I
it,
loved
for sure.
that book.
Yeah, yeah.
So she really inspired me when I left her home. And I got in the car and I started driving home. And I just felt that tugging, that urging that God was saying, you know, Julie, this is a story that needs to be told, and you can do this. You can do it. So I just started writing it in December, just scratching out. By the time I got home that day, I had a couple of the verses written and really kind of had a flow going, and just went from there. Took classes at the Loft the following year.
That's a great place.
Which was key and wonderful class instruction, and got to do some of the conferences that they have for children's book writers, and got linked in with a group, a writers group. So it was really a process of, and then I thought, okay, how do I publish this? Where do I go from here? And in researching to get your story out there and getting your manuscript even looked at by the big publishing houses, you know, it's a big roadblock. And so I had heard about Beaver's Pond Press, and I just kind of started researching them and felt that it was a really good fit for me to be able to tell our story and for me to be able to illustrate the story.
That's right, you illustrated, yeah.
Yep, and it was a great fit because it really, they're wonderful people there. They were very helpful, and I was able to get through the process. It took about a year. So, but it's been a wonderful experience.
Oh, it's such a good book.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, Amanda, you have other obligations? Homework? Do you do sports? Do you act in school plays? Tell us, how did you navigate through what is expected of you as a student, and then taking on this additional calling?
Well, I have volleyball. I play volleyball, and then I also have homework, obviously. And so you would get home every night and start with the homework, and then maybe have practice, and in between, I just bake. So it was a balance, especially the first year we did it when I had to do it all by myself. But, you know, it's manageable, and you have the weekends, so.
And a few late nights.
A few late nights.
Let's be honest here. There were a few late nights, yeah.
Exactly. So how many times have you been to Haiti now, or are you planning a trip coming up soon?
Yes, I've been there once last August, and then I'm going back in March.
Okay. And I think you had told me that, when you went, did you bring some of your bark?
Yes, we did.
Did they let you through security?
Yeah, it's not liquid, so at least at that point it wasn't, right?
We brought it to one of the orphanages down there and shared it with the kids.
They loved it. They licked the tin clean.
It was fun.
I would be licking that tin clean. It's a really good recipe.
They kept wanting more.
With your involvement with Healing Haiti, is there an opportunity for, do you think, other young people, middle school or high school students, to get involved? Maybe something here in the Twin Cities, or, I mean, you've created this great partnership with them. Do you have any thoughts, if we have people watching right now that are thinking, gosh, I would love to be helping out with this type of effort? What advice would you have for them?
Absolutely. For me, it was baking, because I love to bake. I've always loved to bake. But things that you love, it's so much easier to use your talents and your skills for someone else. And there are so many great nonprofits here just in the area. And so absolutely, if someone wants to go help others, if they have a calling for it, then, you know, look for it, search into it.
That's really good. Yeah, I know before we sat down, we were talking about a wonderful local nonprofit that also targets Haiti for aid, and that is Feed My Starving Children.
Correct.
And
yeah.
that's so easy to get involved
Oh,
there.
that's
and
so-
you can have really young kids
Oh,
come with their parents.
Yeah. Our youngest, she's been to a couple birthday parties there. So where they'll go for the birthday party and pack the meals, which is such a wonderful gift to give your child at a young age. And they have just a blast.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really feel like they're missing out on anything because they
Right.
really enjoy doing that. And they feel so good that they know they're giving back. And that's really the message in the book, is that, you know, your mission doesn't have to be Haiti. It can be
Yeah.
your neighbor next door. It can be the food shelf. It can be, we just want to say, you know, you can make a difference, and you're never too young or you're never too old, you know?
Yeah. That's a great message.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am curious, and maybe other people ask you, do you see yourself continuing to work on Haiti as a project, or is there any other region in the world or cause that has kind of captured your heart a little bit?
That would definitely be Haiti. It did, especially going there, it did really just grab my heart. And I think that at least for the next few years, that's where I'm going to focus on and really take an interest in. But I'm always open to, you know, other organizations or other opportunities to help someone else.
Well, your leadership is to be commended. Thank you so very much, Amanda, and thank you, Julie.
Yeah. Thank you
for
having
being
us.
her employee,
Exactly.
for one, and for producing and writing the book. It's just terrific.
It
and
was a wonderful process.
I wish both of you much continued success.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
This is Lori Creever signing off from our interview with Amanda and Julie Sexson, inviting you to read a book. It could change your life. And let's encourage our children to do the same. Thank you.